Coming to you from our studio here in Sydney and streaming all around the world, it's Still Life Crisis with Llewellyn Skye and Deni Rayneau.
Where did you clapperboard?
We did it together! Let's do 2026. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! And you're still in the studio. Oh my God. Deni has been here for weeks. Thankfully. Put us up. And Ricky. Oh, we have that part of the family. The furniture. I mean, we're just like locked in here. Like it's a bunker. I'm moving.
It's like COVID. It's like COVID all over again.
Oh, shh. Yeah. No, man. Edit that.
No, I'll take
Man,
that.
it's been a hell of a year so far. Oh, wow. What a ride. Feels like it's gone in about an hour. Anyway. Okay, so now we're come back to 2026. Yes, and we're continuing on from last year. That was so last year, so 2025. But anyway, we still need to. And that thing for Renya, that through the break, through the year, the year change, I'm like, what was that thing? Okay, just to touch on that, because I cannot let things go. That's part of my soul. Like, you know, when people are like, just don't worry, be fine. I cannot think of anything else until I think of that thing. So we were talking about, Renya asked about advice about pricing for beginners with artwork and stuff like that. So Renya, the thing that I was thinking about that couldn't remember was about cost and for everybody else. So we were talking about price per inch, don't put your prices down, where you're showing various other artists and seeing where you are in the landscape of artists. So the thing that was on the tip of my mind, and now it's 2026, I can think about it, is cost. So it's very easy to forget to factor in the cost of your work. And as an artist, this has always been a interesting point because we're not, I'm not going to say that, not that we're not, but it's, time, energy, all of those things. Like if we worked in an office, you tick on, you tick off, you're paid per hour. If only it was like that. And sometimes, and thankfully and hopefully it will go like that. But even just down to the basics, how much does your canvas cost or whatever you're working on? How much does the frame cost, the transport, your materials? Before time, it's so easy to forget. And so many artists, like we had a chat, it can slip their minds and they will say to us what they're charging and you go, hang on, how much does XYZ cost? And you're only making, you're not even making covering. Yeah. So that was the thing. Yeah, something to be thinking about. You really do. Oh, we're not even thinking about. It has to be the first factor. Yeah. But there's also, I think, the artists that I've worked with who struggle with this pricing thing, when they create a piece that comes out a lot easier or a lot quicker and it's just like, wow, that was just so much easier for me and the flow and it all just came and surely it's not finished. Surely I haven't put in enough into this piece in order to charge someone for it. And I'm like, think about the practice that you've done. Think about your art practice. How many years you've been doing what you do in order for that painting to come out in that amount of time. They're not just paying for that piece when it was created, they're paying for you and all that time you've invested in yourself to be able to create something in that amount of time. So it can be a really kind of nebulous thing to try and put a price on that. Yeah. You got to trust that, when you created something and you're proud of it and it's got you in it, that it's worth it. Absolutely. And when we go to any trade or any industry, like a doctor, for instance, like you say, we know that they have taken years and years to become a doctor, a specialist, whatever they are doing, and we honour that. We would never, ever question it. Except sometimes when you go to a GP and you go, I was in here for 5 minutes. Yeah, still, but yes, I know what you're saying. Sorry, doctors out there. But it's just like exactly what you said. It takes time, and they don't see all of the prep work, not only the years, but it's the groundwork of just to be able to be there in that
20 experiments on the floor, and then you get to your canvas.
Yeah, and with paint that didn't make it.
It's the medical practitioner society just called.
Ring a ding ding, we're busy. We're charging you.
Yes.
Podcast o'clock.
Podcast o'clock. We do have more questions though. Skye.
Yes, yeah.
So this is from Jan Clark, and she's like a student of mine. Actually, she's doing my mentorship in 2026.
Jan's from Uralla.
She's from Uralla,
New South
in
Wales.
New South Wales. She's a beautiful artist and does all sorts of form of art. And she said, what are your most useful social media platforms, and what percentage of your time is needed to keep them ticking over?
Ooh.
Okay. I love how you say the question and look at me like,
I always say that. Would you like me to answer that one first?
we're allowed to. Like,
Okay, so Instagram is my number one that I post to the most. And that's just been something that I've been doing for a long time, build up a following there. And I'm kind of used to it. So it's not something that drains me or takes up my time. I have favorites of artists that I look on there, so I don't look at a lot other than the people that I want to see on Instagram. I'm pretty good with not scrolling and looking at, I don't look at shit on Instagram.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. Yeah. So I look, and I'm looking for specific things. But in terms of the time that I spend, I know when I can do it. So when I wake up in the morning and I've done, maybe a meditation or whatever I do to get in my zone, I know that that's a good moment to capture something from the week. I'll look back on photos. I'll think of a little story or a quote that can go with it, and I'll do a quick post. So I know I'm posting one a day. I don't necessarily, I'm taking stuff when I'm creating it. So stuff from my studio, I do a lot of process stuff. I do a lot of paintings that I complete. I've always done that. I want to show behind the scenes. I want to show the messy. I want to show it all because I think it's good for my students, as well as it keeps me really honest. I know when I'm kind of going, oh, is that something that I should show, that I need to show it? It's just something that I want to be kind of real about and vulnerable about. So I'll just look back at my photos and I'll just find stuff that I can create a little story around. I do that once a day. And then maybe I'll be a little bit more intentional about doing something in the studio that might be a reel. So I'll collect up some videos that I can post at different times. I rehash stuff. I put stuff on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, same stuff but in a slightly different frame. So I might do something to a story that's a video. I might do a bit of my day on a story that I wouldn't do in a post. So that's big for me, that Instagram sends stuff everywhere else. So if you don't need to be everywhere, you can just choose one thing and do that and do it well. And don't kind of fall into that trap of thinking I have to be seen on 6 different platforms. That's me. I think this year I really want to concentrate on my email list, because that's something that I think I leave a bit behind, and I've got some really good people on there that want to hear from me. They've signed up for me. So that, if anything, I think is going to be my shift, and might be something for you to think about, is those people who invest in you spend a bit more time on there. That's me.
that's brilliant. I'm so glad that you answered that first. That is great. I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
All of that after a glass of wine.
You're doing well in 2026. You're so much better in 2026.
This is the new me.
And the question, again, just to clarify, so it's about social media, I haven't forgotten that one, is about how much time will you choose to put your energy. Jan.
What are your platforms that you choose to put your time on?
I have said for a long time, and I think we all agree, that for creatives, Instagram has been, I was about to say brilliant, and is brilliant. I think there'll be
Is.
yeah.
It's definitely not the same.
Yeah, brilliant's a
Change the
strong
video.
word now to use with those kinds of things. But it's been instrumental. That is a
Good
brilliant word. Instrumental.
2026.
I know, look at me with words.
Oh, that's this episode.
This episode now, hashtag instrumental brilliant. Instrumental in putting yourself and your work forward to the public, to galleries, to the world, if the world's looking, whatever. But I have had many opportunities come via the I word. I don't even want to say it anymore. Insta, we'll call it the I word, because it's not like I'm plugging them or anything like that. But honestly, I've had, if I think back about the numbers of opportunities and where they've come from, it's definitely been the I. Because it's visual and it's like having a portfolio. It's like going to somebody and showing your, like back in the day, you know, you go with all your photos of blah, blah, blah. I mean, who really did that? But you know what I mean? I can just imagine on a bad movie and you're going to present to a gallery with your little foolscap folder or whatever. These are my works. It's like that without all the noise. No, people don't need to see the noise. They can visually see, right, who is this person? Who is this artist? What do they do? I get what they do because they can see it in an instant, which is why it's probably called Artstagram. So definitely that, and that's where I've been investing my time in for a long time. I'll filter through to the other F word, but I don't spend a lot of time on that at all. But as in a daily kind of practice, like I love listening to you. That's so inspiring. I used to spend a lot more time thinking about when to post, what day, what time, and things like that. And I suppose I had a goal in mind to get a certain kind of vibe on my Instagram. And then once I felt like I felt okay with it, that didn't become such a priority. And with your life, that will happen. It's not easy to do. It takes a long time. Social media is a beast.
Yeah.
It's a beast that we need, but life is life, and it shouldn't make you feel bad. And that's the hard thing. Like it does take a long time to do that stuff. So if it's stressful, like don't worry. It's just social media. Yes, it's great, but as in if we're talking sales, like that could be another branch of this kind of thing. But if we're talking sales and things like that, it's not all coming from Instagram at all. I think it's great for exposure and for people to find you. But as in the next step, I think it's a total different ballgame. Like you say, database, email base. You know, we can't put all our eggs in the one basket or however many social baskets, and we never know when they're going to go bust. Like that could happen at any time. So I think it's very important to be wary of that and think, right, I'm going to invest this much. This is how much I'm willing to invest, how much I can invest. If I don't do it, that's okay. If I do more or little, but you also need other game plans. You also definitely email list. And there has been conversations that it's a dinosaur thing and going out, but it's not at all.
You've got your captive audience.
It's primary contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even the younger generation, like it's not their go-to, like they go to other things on a daily, but it's like a lifeblood. So Stranger Things under the, you know, when they've got the thing under the ground, like on the vines.
Yeah, and there's a couple of things there because I sell myself. Instagram's really important because that is such a big window. It's like my shop front.
Right, so I should only say that for the sales is fine. So
do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you know, like I'm not in galleries.
Yeah.
And so my Instagram account is my shop front.
Yeah.
When I'm entering competitions in anything, when I'm putting my work in anywhere, they're always asking to see my Instagram account and my website. So that's kind of like it does matter depending on where you are and what your where you are placed, where you see yourself as an artist. And that said, there's YouTube, and YouTube's big for me. Like, so doing your, and a lot of the content can be shared to both. YouTube's great in terms of, well, for me, because I teach and I mentor, it's a great way to show what I'm doing, to also get an audience who's interested in seeing the background of where the paintings come from. So YouTube's big. And it's a changing world. I do so hear you, Skye. You can't just be so super focused on one. You've got to kind of keep your blinkers off and go, well, is this changing enough? Is this still working for me? Would I be better off to? And as I said, for me, I know I've not spent enough time on my email list. That's something that I'm changing, because I think that is a place where I've got some beautiful people who want to hear from me. And they've proved that by being in my email list. So yeah, it's a tricky one, Jan. It is a tricky one, but I think just do something and don't let it drain you, because I also heard that in what you were saying. If it's too much, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, but it is such a funny, fickle beast, because yes, it takes time. Yes, it can go bust. Yes, all of those things, positive and negative. But if people just expect it for creative people, like if I hear of an artist, my first go-to is Instagram.
Yeah,
I look them up before Google, because I assume that people don't have websites. A lot of people don't have websites. A lot of people may not have Google presence. Sorry, that's another word I shouldn't have said, G word. Because I didn't mean to specify a particular thing, that's why I said that. They don't have an online presence, I should have said.
Website.
Yeah, or just online with anything, stuff out there.
Yeah, no,
So
you go to Instagram.
exactly, we assume. And then when I go there and people, artists, not people, aren't on there, I'm kind of like, ugh. I'm a bit stuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, wow, I've got to track down their website. Do you feel like that?
Oh, absolutely. You just want to, and the beautiful thing, like it or lump it about Instagram, is that you can see someone's wall and instantly get a really clear idea of where they're at.
Exactly.
And that is also what I want to say about Instagram and what I use it for. I love it because it gives me an idea about my progression and my art and looking back. And because when I post about the painting that I'm painting. When I'm then naming it, I can go back and look at my posts and get a sense of where I was at.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a diary. I wish that this would be created in a new way for artists. So it's this new Instagram.
Do you hear that?
Artstagram.
Artstagram! That's a title. Thank God that was you. Who did that? Artstagram.
You brought it out.
Now it's your fault, the
But
title.
don't you agree though? Like we need a refresh.
Yeah, but then it cuts down on other people. There's just artists, and we're too busy making art. We won't be on Artstagram, and there'll be nothing else happening.
And there won't be any bad algorithms, there'll be Artgorithms.
And what about the Artfluencers?
We're just all over there in the club on our own, and no one's looking at us.
All right.
Artfluencers, I love it.
That was a great idea.
Yeah. So, like we were talking before, Jan, we're still with you, about accidentally going live. We're saying we should go live because we're together in the studio, and this is very rare. Like, actually, it's the first time it's ever happened so far.
And it's going so well, we went.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Again.
Well, we're almost in. Well, we're in 2026 now, so that's great.
2 weeks to go.
We're ahead of time. But yeah, going live and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. Say again, you've thrown me.
So Jan, look, I don't know.
Basically, back to your question, Jan.
But-
Yes.
Right now, I don't think you can ignore the eye.
No, go with the I,
No,
Jan.
no.
Go with the I.
Definitely don't try the T.
And also the E.
The T word.
Mail. Don't forget the email.
Tick-
Just call us, Jan. Call us. Oh, actually, the T.
The T.
Oh, no, not even a telephone anymore.
We tried TikTok. It was.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Sorry, TikTok.
hope that helped you, Jan.
So,
Amy, you asked a question on the back of Jan's.
Amy's from when?
Amy Sandler,
Oh, yes, from the US.
the US. It's a follow-up question. How do you limit time you're spending on social media when that could be distracting, spending time creating art?
So that was
Amy.
Amy, I think we kind of touched on that briefly. Well, in a very roundabout kind of way. I feel like, you know, in your bones, we all know. You know, when we're sitting there and you're doing stuff like, shit, I need to be painting, you know? And for me, I think you're really organized. Well, I hate when people say that actually, because I know when people say that to me, like, I'm not. I think you're really great at being disciplined enough to do that stuff with your socials, whereas I'm not. So I kind of get a little bit, and it doesn't happen often because I don't jump on that enough anymore. But you're like, I just know, I forget the post. Paint. You just need to paint. So I think you just trust yourself. You know. Yeah. That's great advice. You just know.
For me, it's like my first priority is painting. Like that comes before anything. And sometimes when I know that, like for instance, you know, I'm filming content or I'm wanting to do a reel, I'm frustrated when I'm in the midst of something that I just want to be like camera, you know, because I do have Ricky in the studio occasionally filming him. Cameras off. I'm in the zone. So painting's number one for me. That's got to be my priority. The rest is just like the happy extra that I know I need to do, that helps me record too. So when I'm looking back, I can see where I'm at and what I'm doing. I don't get distracted by social media when I'm painting. I'll put on a podcast maybe, or I'll put on music, or I'll put on something that's just, you know, an audible book. So it's not a visual thing. I've got the visuals off. My visual is me painting. So I get it out the way early with a post. You know, I take lots of photos because they help me when I'm working anyway. So if you look at my social media, it's mostly carousels, very little videos. Videos if Ricky and I have done a day and then it lasts me a long time. So I think it's about compartmentalizing and knowing that the first thing is art, the first thing is your painting, the first thing is your practice. Everything else is secondary to that. And it has to be so that because you're an artist, right? It just is.
Exactly, Amy. And like, not just Amy, that felt very teachery then. Sorry, Amy. Right, Amy, are you listening, Amy?
Amy is a lovely
I'm sure she's beautiful. I love you, Amy, already. But if we're not making up, what are we posting about? Like, and I know that you weren't asking it in that way, but exactly what you're saying, the most important thing is we're artists, and it is just, we're showing a glimpse into a life of an artist or what we're trying to say. And if we haven't got that world, which should be the world, hang on, I'm trying to get in the camera view. The world's like this, and then you do Insta. Or no, you do the socials, you go do that. Okay, put it together there. Try again.
I'm a little liar.
Yeah, that's it. So this is you as another.
Okay, it reminds me of Walter Mitty. Have you ever seen the movie Walter Mitty? And there's a scene where, come on, Ricky, what's your favourite actor's name?
Scene?
The photographer.
Oh, Sean Penn.
Sean Penn. And he's seen a snow leopard, and he's looking through the eye of his camera. And there's a moment where he just puts his camera down. He says, this is just a moment that's meant to be had without the camera. And there's often I think about that in my studio when I'm doing something. I think, I should be filming this. And I'm just like, no, this is just me in my zone. I don't need to record this and use the F word.
But I'm in the background going,
this is just not a moment for that. It's creation. It's like, it's not meant to be recorded.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh, so much. And it's resonated on a way of a family level. Like, you know, when we go to kids' concerts now or whatever, a concert, anywhere, and people are doing this, and they're not actually, sorry, We're not in the screen. They're doing this.
Yeah.
And they're not actually in the zone in the moment. They're recording the zone for later that they'll never watch. I know, again, it's different to Instagram promoting yourself.
But it's true.
They're
Yeah.
missing the moment, aren't they? They're missing the moment.
Yeah. And exactly. And I'm the same. And I'll go to my kids. I've got 10, 13 and 16-year-old. And your kids are a little bit older, but it's, I mean, they're not going to do concerts that you're filming them at anymore. They're doing bigger things. But, you know, you take up, now I catch myself, I'm not being a big stare into the screen person, but I'll take a couple of photos and pull it away or videos and go, no, like I'm soaking that up. Or it doesn't matter if I don't get a photo or video, I'll get one after. Again, it's not the same as marketing and Instagram, but yeah, if you're in the zone, if you're feeling it, you
Stick
just
with that.
run with never, it's like don't wake a sleeping baby. And for all the people that do, that's okay. I'm cool with that. But I was like, when I had all my babies, I'm like, that baby is no way. I am not waking that baby. It's in the
Never
zone.
disturb a creative artist, a creating artist.
Yeah, the baby is sleeping, and that means I can do other things. If you're in the zone,
We just had a
never.
call from the postnatal mothers group behind us. They're going to sign.
Sorry about that.
People are loving us out there.
Yeah, that's it. There's a complaints department. His name's Ruby.
We'll give you his phone number.
Just comment below.
Yeah, I love all the things about everybody that does anything in the world. Trust me, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But you know, it's the same. It's like if even in the middle of the night, like I'll wake up, and I'm sure a lot of us do. You got to write that shit down. Again, like even with the last podcast, just otherwise you'll forget. Just when you're in the flow, do the painting, write the thing down, go for that walk, whatever it is that is exciting. And if it is Instagram or whatever the social media platform, or if you've got a great marketing plan and you're so excited about, do that thing. Because that's going to be really important at that time.
Right.
Go with the flow, yeah.
Yeah. Hope that helps, Amy.
Sorry, Amy.
Do we still have more questions?
I think
No more questions.
More
But we're now
questions.
getting on to the topic of the podcast.
Oh,
We've got a topic of the podcast.
research.
This is 2026.
Oh, yeah. New podcast.
Shit.
I'm
I'm in 2027 already.
a different podcast person this year. So I want to talk about, because we both mentor artists, and I thought it would be kind of helpful to talk through the things that we see that are the greatest things that slips artists up that we mentor. So there's a couple of things that I put on my list, and I wanted to know if these were similar. So the first thing is fear, which I think is, you know, in artists, all of us, there's a fear boundary that we get to with art in many ways. I don't know why though, because I know, Skye, you have this idea of it's just paint. And that kind of pulls it down to this, it's just pretty paint. But it is a big thing, right? Fear of what when you're facing a blank canvas, or fear of what when you've already got stuff on there and you're going to do more to it. Talk about that.
I feel from students and people I mentor, talk to, and my own experience, that whenever that comes up, it's a fear because it's coming externally. I feel it's either because it's too expensive, the canvases cost me a lot of money, I need to make this right. And I don't do that, not that I can't afford any of it, but I've been painting or work, whatever. I just know that I can just put it aside, paint over it, change it, whatever, because I do it all the time and I think you'd be the same. But for a lot of students, they aren't in that zone all the time, and they've come to a workshop or mentoring and they're like, well, it's got to be perfect on that. So I feel that's one of the things, that expectation that's put on them from either financial expectation, will they want it to go in a particular place in their house? I find that they say, I want it to be over the couch. You know, they've got an end goal, I think is whatever it is about couches or whatever. That places fear, and that can also branch out into an exhibition and a gallery not expectation, but you want to you want to do the best that you can and put on your best show. So it doesn't only go from fear of what will my husband and children say, or my friends, or my sister, or my dog. It can also be, will this show be okay? So it can go from many different things. But I feel it can be, and often it also is very valid to be an internal thing, but I feel like it's external things that are a noise. If you can tap into the raw, I'm doing this right now and getting this out because I'm in the zone, which we just talked about, and I am not judging myself. I'm not judging the outcome. I'm not judging anything. There is no fear. You're like a kid again. You're like, I'm just playing. I'm just whatever the zone feels like for whoever. Then fear almost dissolves. I don't know, but I feel it's external voices, external pressures.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think voices in your head that you're hearing, that you've probably been hearing your entire life. And probably a lot of it is playing upon your self-worth. Am I worth this? Am I worth the money that I spend on this? Am I, is that wall worth me spending my time to put something up there that everyone else in the family is going to have to look at, or every guest that comes to my home, or blah, blah, blah. And there's a point that you get to where you just have to let that stuff go and follow that inner voice and follow I'm driven to do this and therefore I have to do it.
Yeah.
But it's very real, and I think it can really trip a lot of artists up.
Yeah.
And it's just an ongoing conversation that you just need to kind of it's okay. I'm still going to do this, even if you're here telling me I'm not worthy of spending this much money. And it kind of gets easier. It's like, I don't know, when I was starting to spend money on art supplies, I stopped spending it on other things because this meant so much more to me.
Yeah.
I used to spend a lot of money on shoes. I used to have a lot of 6-inch nails.
Really?
I would not be seen out in the world without 6-inch nails on. I know. But if you knew me back then, you'd know this. And then, that can be a big amount of money that you spend on shoes and fashion.
Wow, this is a new Deni.
I was in advertising. That was
like your devil wears Prada kind of stuff.
Yep. And so therefore you prioritise a different lifestyle. And for me, spending money on art supplies, number one, I'm worth it, but it's my thing, it's my craft. But it gets easier because it didn't always feel like that. It felt like, this is such an extravagant thing to be spending money on. Switch it away from something else that you used to be passionate about, and then you'll find that the fear goes away.
Yeah. And it can be paralysing is what I should say.
Yeah.
Paralysing but it can come at any time, and doesn't matter how advanced or how much experience. So it's a real reconnection to the body and breath and right, let's do this. When you watch Braveheart or something, get yourself all pumped up, right, let's go. Get rid of that.
Or find yourself in an artist group where you're amongst your peers that are loving it as much as you are, so that when you're having those little doubts of should I be doing this, that you can have this group saying, yeah, this is what we're here for.
Yeah,
this means that much.
Yeah, and briefly, if it's fear about trusting your mark and what you're doing, so just say it's not so much about money doing it. Yeah, right. It's different to that. If it's about fear of going there with whatever you're painting or creating, looking at other artists is really helpful, and you'll see brave artists all over the world that have done things, forever. And just once you find that, you go, wow, they'll give you courage.
Yeah.
Which is so great. It's like a generation talking to a generation and saying, you got this.
Yeah.
If they can drop the brush, drop the mic, if they can do it, we can do it.
Hell yeah.
Let's go paint. I want to go paint now. All right, okay, that's enough.
There's a
5-minute episode.
also something that I get a lot with my students, and I know this is you with your students because you have a freedom in the way that you paint. And I think that's that messy thing that we've talked about in previous podcasts where we're easily able to let go, is that there's an inability to let go. So there's this almost like this barrier that a lot of my students have in just going outside that comfort zone or what they see as their way of creating. It's just like, how do I break through that barrier?
Yep.
What would be your thoughts on that?
And to take risks. My thoughts, yes, and I see that all the time. And it's funny because we always say, turn it around, walk away, leave it alone. There are other canvases in the world. Back to it's just paint, or just whatever it is that you're using. But that's so helpful. And yeah, and it's just an attachment again to making that one piece, one work, one idea, one goal to fit into the mold of, well, like we touched before about interior design, because, we're so worldly. That, there's this perfect goal. And it's like in your mind that I'm going to paint this perfect paint. I'm just talking about painting as an analogy. Perfect painting of me in a forest with roses. And then you start painting and it doesn't work out like that. And then well, in my head, no, like I can see it in my head and it's not coming out. And that happens all the time, by the way. That is totally normal. Imagination and hand, they're different beasts. They work together, but there's so many different things that are happening between that and here. But it's hard to let go. I think for a lot of people that haven't gone through it many, many times, I think the key is fail many times.
Oh, yes.
Like I can't remember
Because we have, right?
Yeah. And I can't remember if we spoke about this. I think we did touch on it, the number, like give yourself a number. So right, I know I'm going to fail 20 times, and then around 21 or whatever beyond, I'll get somewhere. Like be aware and allow yourself to fail. And if you can't afford, if you're thinking, oh, well, I can't fail on 20 canvases because that's too expensive. Fail on 20 pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Fail on 20 bits of toilet and newsprint.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say with this inability to let go, is that you've got to take it away from being finished art to being experiments.
And journey, process.
Yeah, so I think that what I see in a lot of art students is this wanting to paint on canvas or wanting it to be the piece that they're working on. So they're constantly working on these pieces that are going to be something.
Yeah.
I spend so much time painting on things that are never going to be anything, like just stuff. Just, give me a piece of floor and I'll paint on it, because it's this constant exploration that gives you the freedom to do stuff that you wouldn't do if you've got this canvas there. And, there's times, obviously, that you're going to have canvases that you need to be painting on, but so much can be exploration, and if you give yourself that time just to explore, experiment, with no sense of needing to do anything, you get that sense of freedom happening a lot more, because you're, like with my students, I say just scribble, just like paint with, the weirdest brushes. Like just do that to loosen up, rather than I'm going to use this brush on canvas and paint a painting that's going to be finished.
Totally, and each painting is actually just an experiment and exploration and part of that journey.
It helps you get to that point of seeing it that way.
Yes, exactly. Totally. Yeah.
I got another
So there you go, answered.
Needing approval or permission. That's a big thing. I find that with my students that they almost come to me for that. It's like, tell me I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
Tell me that that I'm on the right path. I used to think that, so I really get this one. It was like, where's the group of jury out there that's going to tell me I'm there, or I'm doing okay, or I'm on the right path. And the truth is that there isn't that group of people.
No secret jury.
No secret jury. You kind of just need to, it's good, I think, therefore, to find a group that can support you, or find someone that's come before you that may be able to just go, hint, just keep going. Everything that you've got in your head is exactly what I had in my head when I used to create. So you just know those little markers along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like it's a lifetime thing. It's not just do one thing and then it's done. It's just many steps, many, like I say, explorations, many things.
Yeah, and it can help just hearing artists, be amongst other artists.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's like experience. Like the more you do it, the more you turn up, you realise I don't need that validation or to hear that. But all it is like in any chosen field or anything that you do it, keep doing it, and then you're just in a flow. I think it's when you tap in and tap out, like anything, right? So just say all of a sudden we wanted to start bungee jumping. We would naturally say,
going to happen.
Sorry, we would naturally say, yeah, just know what to do. But are we doing it right? Naturally, when you're doing something that you haven't done for a long time, if you're tapping in, you would make sure.
Yeah.
But that's a different kind of analogy.
Get wrong.
But anything you're just unsure of,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then if you start bungee jumping all the time, you'd be teaching it, or whatever. You'd start to feel like it's cool, like I got this, I've done 20 jumps, I'm fine. It's kind of the same.
Yeah, and I think also with art is that you almost want to be doing it in a way that no one else has done it before. So
It's trusting your
so much
Self.
trust in your inner compass, right?
Yes, totally.
And that, there's a point that you get to where it's just like, I just, even if people tell me that colour combination or that, I need to go with what I'm feeling here more. And I think that's where the people that really made an impact on art followed their own compass more than any sense of needing to be validated.
And there's also that beautiful thing of, when like the first time that people say, it's beginner's luck. And when you don't know the rules and you do all of the things because you're not asking permission and you're not saying, is this right, is this wrong? And you're making a recipe and putting all the wrong things in, or painting with, like I've had meetings with my artist coach mentor, and she will say, on paper that those colours shouldn't go. That shouldn't happen. I don't know how you did it, like you pulled it or whatever.
How good is that?
Because there's not a checking, you're just there doing it and playing and experimenting like we all are. It's nothing amazing, we're all doing it, but it's allowing yourself to be in that unknown.
But that takes a lot of confidence, a lot of self-confidence.
Or just shutting doors, turning off the social media, like turning all the things off and tapping into, how do I feel?
An inner voice.
Yeah, what's my body or my mind or my experience or my dreams? And then, try it. What's going to happen?
Yeah, I hear you. That's a biggie. That's such a biggie. Tapping into that inner creative voice.
Yeah, because nobody else sees that, right? Sorry to cut you off. And then they go, and then they see it and they go, oh, that, like I said, on paper, that's not in the textbook.
Yeah.
But somehow that's something really magical has happened. And that's when great things happen, when you actually don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to us. I don't know why you listen to the podcast. What are you doing? Why are you still here?
Oh, maybe.
I only got 10 more minutes.
The next one on my list was perfectionism.
Okay.
For me, I remember Carla, if you're watching, I'm sure not, but anyway, one of my best friends, but she's an artist. But I remember when we were back at school together, and her book, she was one of those beautiful women whose books used to be perfect. Like her handwriting was beautiful, everything on the
Was
page
this at
was
school?
beautiful. Yes.
I got my books. You have books?
Exercise books. And I used to just look at her book and I used to get so frustrated with her. I used to scribble on her page. I know. I was her best friend, but still, that was what I did. And I kind of still feel that way when I see someone who's stuck in perfectionism, stuck in that I need this to look a certain way in order to be, and then write your own line here, acceptable, loved, belonging. And I do get this a lot in my students, this editing of self in their art because they're afraid to show anything that looks slightly something that they don't think of as something they've built up as themselves. So they're this character and then they've gone to art to express themselves and it's like, how do I get out of this person that I've created and be this other person, and then what are people going to think of me if I am blah, blah, blah. It's a really big one. There's a lot of fear in that. And I think that's a really big personal journey and a lot of inner work needs to be done in order to kind of be with that part of yourself that needs to be something in order to belong. Getting too deep for the podcast?
Never. We can go from fear to random words to deep. I like it.
I don't think I was born with that perfectionist thing, so I think it's something that I kind of see. Did you
notice it?
I notice it, and it's not something that I have fear over. Needing to be a perfectionist is not something that
with art, with life, or both.
Both. What about you?
I would never think that I was, but I feel like I'll never call myself that, but I feel like I think I am because I how do I verbalize this? So I have something for example, this is so silly, and I keep talking about family because there's bloody lot of them around me. They'll go to do something, right? And I know this is so different with being a mother compared to an artist, but same.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, I know I do it. So I just sit on the side, and I'm getting better at it. And I'm like, but just let me do it. And now getting better, but it must be a part of me. But I never recognized it as that. But I'm like, well, I just want that bench in the kitchen clean, And then my husband, darling husband, love you so much, you go, oh, it's clean. Look what I did. It's great. And you look at it and you're like, that is a shit fight. And so it's not like I'll lose sleep and I can leave it. So maybe I'm not a perfectionist that I have to get up and tidy all that shit. But if it's important to me and someone just say something, you're coming over, I'll be like, no, I need to wipe that bench, So I don't know. Is that I don't know where that sits on the line of perfectionism or controlling or just.
Okay, put it to your art. How much of a perfectionist do you think you are in your art?
I am in a way that people don't see. I am in a way for me, and I would say perfectionist as in I need to feel right. So I don't know if that's perfectionism. What is that?
Well, I think perfectionism is when you're doing it for the outside world and the way they view you.
Okay. It's not the kitchen bench. If it's art, it's not the kitchen bench.
I think it's the kitchen bench if it needs to be clean and tidy from the moment you get up until the moment you go to bed in case someone comes over.
Oh, no. No, oh my God, no.
That would be an idea of okay. I'm so concerned in case.
All the time.
Yeah, in case someone comes in and sees my life beneath the exterior that I've put out there. I think that goes into art, where you might have done something and created this wild thing, and then you start cleaning out the edges because there's a smudge here or something out of place there, and before you know it, the painting is controlled.
It's all white.
It's all white or beige and white, but it's just that kind of oh, can I let that wild bit of me that's smudged and dirty
Oh,
and be
right.
seen? Oh no, what will they think of me at that scene? And you start clearing it up.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you.
And then that's that perfectionist that comes in and controls the wildness that you've just experienced.
Right.
And I do see that a lot in artists. I mean, I've felt it in myself, and I'm saying I'm not a perfectionist, but I also have felt that, oh, that bit, you know, maybe that needs to go. And then it's like, oh, well, what would it be like if that goes? I've learned now, if that goes, it loses something. There's energy in that bit that really was needed for this bit to shine. That looks great, but I needed that ugly.
Yeah.
So I guess that's...
And we get caught in the trap sometimes still, right?
Yeah.
We still go there, and like the minute you do it, you're like, oh shit, I've lost it. Okay, if it's that, then no. Not at all.
You don't have that.
No, I am totally happy. I actually love those bits more. But I have cleaned those, not cleaned, but I have quietened things down, and like I said, the minute I do it, I'm like, I've ruined it. I ruined. Yeah, so if that's the case, but like you say, with students, yes, I do see that, where they will be, it's the first marks often. And even we're guilty of it. Throw down these marks, you know, bang, bang, bang. And there's something so beautiful. And there's, all right, now tidy. And then I think we've briefly touched on it, like if you've got a room of artists and you're teaching in person and you go to one, you're like, oh my God, Amy, I'm saying your name now because we said Amy. Amy, that's amazing. And then by the time I come back, Amy, what have you done? You painted over all that amazing energy because they cleaned it up. And I'm not saying you, Amy. I'm sure you would never do that. But
I see you, Amy.
but that does often happen, and you're right. And it's just owning that mess. And but also it's do another freaking painting. That's often a problem because it's like do many, many, many. Don't just focus on one little tiny painting. And it's hard when you're in a group environment and you don't have the space. But put that painting down, put another one on the easel, whatever you need to do. Just keep doing
get
it.
out of that bit. You reminded me of how much I love the teaching in person, which I'm going to be doing more in 2026 because that
It is 2026.
It is.
this year I'm going to be doing more of that. Next month, February. That feeling of walking around a room and seeing people working on art, and by the time you get back to it, it's like, oh, where did that? There you go. That's such a great thing. But also just being there with, okay, well, let's just deal with where you are now.
Of
That's
course.
what's important.
Naturally,
But, and I'm sure that that's a good metaphor of what happens to many artists on one canvas. It's just like, can we catch them? Can I catch myself?
And myself is
Exactly.
a big thing, right?
Yeah.
We all wish we had somebody, not, at certain points. I know a lot of the students go, I just wish that you were there all the time, just tell me. And it's hard when you are in the room because you wish that you could be with them the whole time. You go, hang on, leave it.
I now you know what I feel like.
Oh,
It's like, it's
Doesn't
done,
count.
it's done.
yes, exactly. It's an age-old problem. And my mummy's, when we talk about mummies say, just stop, just
Yeah.
say, just stop.
It's all right.
Well,
So anyway, that's the point of that whole
yeah.
long-winded conversation. Just stop. Just
Yeah,
ask yourself,
and
do it
that
on
is
campus.
my new 75%, 80% is done.
And speaking of
The
stopping,
rest of it
this
is
is
just-
the first episode of 2026. Maybe we should call it an end at that point. Then stopping.
Oh, thank you. We just kept going.
Oh, we'll keep going now.
No.
You've already given us the time of the.
Oh, one more.
Are you going to another?
One more?
One
Have you?
more. I don't know. Do it.
Have you?
Yeah, no. Okay. Well, I've got a couple, so you choose. A lack of knowledge of the basics. So how much just knowing.
Oh, okay. What are the others? Tell me first.
Expectations, others, or your own.
We
or,
kind of touched on that.
or consistency.
I think lack of knowledge. Like, do that
It's
first.
like the basics. So it's lack of knowledge of the basics. Like, I think I definitely know that I teach a lot of students that haven't studied art. They maybe did it way back when in school, and so they're coming back into it later in life. And there's just this kind of like bit of knowledge that's missing or that's needed, and that is a real thing, I think, needing to know your paints, your tools, your colours, your idea of having what composition might be or how to solve. I mean, I think they all come intuitively at some point, but it is knowledge that's needed. Thoughts?
Yes. Foundations. Yeah, foundations is absolutely. There are some prodigies out there, no doubt, like in anything, that don't need them. But often, especially the abstract art, anything abstract-ish to abstract, fully abstract, it looks easy. And we've touched on this before. It looks like you just go bang, bang, bang. But often, those artists have they've learned the foundations to be able to go bang, bang, bang and make it work. And then students will come in and go, oh, I thought that I could do A, B, C. Now I realise it's much harder. And that is the thing. It's the foundations of not only colour and tools and materials and not mastering them. It's just some general knowledge to get you to that next step of just not making a big mess, and not mess, that's the wrong word, but what is the word? It's not guidance, it's just you kind of need to know the rules to break the rules.
I think that's the point, is that it's only when you really know it that you have a sense of being able to break them. Because any rule, I'll find an artist that's like world famous that has broken that rule.
Yeah.
Like it isn't about sticking within, but it is kind of for a bit. It is, for a bit it is like, oh, you really do need to know, like composition. And I think we did that in one of our podcasts of like, how do I lead the viewer on the painting, and when it doesn't have enough dynamics to it, or when the colour palette isn't working, and what that might be that you can go back to and go, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know that, or I didn't know that. So those basics, once you've got them down pat, then break the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're breaking.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like a building block or setting up a ladder or building a house or a Lego house. If you haven't got those foundational bricks, then, and anyone can hit that top mark in anything they do. It could be any industry. I'm sure could go, wow, I just loved, that. But if you don't have that foundation, how do you sustain them? You can easily crumble like a house or a ladder, fall back down the ladder. But if you have done the steps, then, okay, you will do that, and you may drop down a rung on a ladder or two, but not the whole way down. And it's like, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You learn the things, you build, you come back, you build, you come back, you build, and then eventually you go higher, not higher, but you're just building and building and building. Whereas if you kind of get it, you kind of like, it's like stepping out on a diving board or something, there's nothing underneath the foundation.
Do you play pool?
Not regularly, do you? Do you want to go out? is that an offer? That was random. I think I'm really good at pool. Is that what you're saying?
No, but I'm just saying that I think that's a really good analogy, because you can always go and fluke your game. You play once every 10 years, you go, you play a game, you win, you're like, oh, this is easy, I know how to do this. You play it on a regular basis, then your flukes are going to...
Do you?
I'm not bad. But then you learn, there's actually some moves and some things that I can do that builds a foundation of the game that leads to long-term winning, not just one, see, I can do this. And then, I'm not a big pool. I love this.
They had a pool table back in New Zealand when she was little.
Yes, we did have a pool table.
Clearly.
I had 4 brothers.
I'm not playing
Mother
Deni,
Deni, he was amused somehow, and I was the little sister who used to.
I love that analogy.
But it is a perfect analogy,
yes,
because you used to go, you get someone who comes along and just flukes it and goes, I I'm such a good ball player, but can you sustain it?
Well, that's me. And usually after a few drinks, and I'm like,
You're so good, right?
in my mind.
Right. After this podcast, we're going to go and have that ball.
No, we're not. No, I'm like that. But yeah, exactly. It's like any industry, right? You can do it. Anyway, I think Ricky's like trying to get us to go and play pool. Now he knows that I'm going to lose and you're going to win a little bit.
No, this is the thing, you like flukes, like.
No, I think I've used all my luck up.
All
Well,
right.
I think that's a wrap for episode
It's a wrap.
9.
Okay, well, yeah, 2026 has been great.
It's not a wrap of 2026. It's a wrap of our first episode.
Episode 9. Episode 9.
In 2020.
So that's it.
Okay, we'll see you really in 2026.
Next.
All right.